So it sounds like it's a little bit of a Groundhog Day today, so we'll kind of keep
there's a lot of different educations going on, right?
So we'll get going on that. Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members. Current law states that government entities awarded public work contracts funded with the state funds may not discriminate against a person bidding on the contract based on their agreement with a collective bargaining organization, such as a project labor agreement. This allows for a competitive, open market and process and execution of government contracts. So it just kind of levels the playing field. However, many local governments are still requiring specific agreements on public work contracts through public funding, such as local tax dollars and federal funds. So Senate Bill 925 would expand the prohibition on discriminating based on labor agreements to include local governmental money, governmentally administered financial assistance, and money from ratepayers and user fees. This will allow for decisions to be based upon the most efficient cost and most competitive labor public work contracts. Again, this simply levels the playing field, make sure we're not discriminating against any people bidding on an RFQ. There is a substitute on that. We do plan on presenting a substitute. The substitute simply cleans up a little bit. The committee substitute will include federal matching dollars or prohibition of imposing the PLA requirements on projects, and it defines the federal match program as a cooperative funding agreement where federal dollars are contingent on state or local contributions and aligns the federal funding mechanisms. So, thank you.
Thank you, Senator. The sub we're going to offer when we vote on it, right? Or we don't have it.
It's
right
up to
now.
the chair, so I'll do whatever. We do have.
Next week.
You've got that. We got that late last night.
Right. Oh, yeah.
And it doesn't do a whole lot, but if y'all want, it's up to the chair how much time y'all want on that.
Okay. Members, questions,
doesn't
Senator
do much
Hancock
at
on
all.
Senate Bill 925. Thank you, Senator. We have 3 individuals wishing to testify. So,
Yep. Thank
Chair
you.
opens up public testimony, and there's 3 individuals: Rick Lord, Amanda Pawson, and Leonard Aguilar. Mr. Lord.
Mr. Chairman, how are you doing today?
Good.
Yes, my name is Rick Lord. I'm the Executive Director of the Texas Building Trades. Again, thank you for allowing me to testify before you in opposition to Senate Bill 925. I'd like to share why owners and contractors and unions support PLAs. So the productivity is about 14% higher on a PLA. When the job has mixed union, non-union, it's about 8% more productive. Using a PLA reduces the total cost by 4%. Projects are 40% less likely to experience shortage of skilled manpower. The collaboration between all the stakeholders ensures a smoother project execution and better outcomes. Now, one of the things that a PLA does require, they're negotiated, and to say they exclude anybody, that's not true how a PLA works. And I've seen some of the opposition, and the opposition states that they do 93% of all the work. Contractors don't do the work. It's the subs that do the work. What the owner and the contractor enter into is an agreement. One of the main components is to start getting training programs into the workforce. Right now, we spend a lot of money training people in the community colleges, the high schools and stuff, but there's no requirement for those same people to utilize training people. And so you have a disconnect between the industry and training programs where there's not these jobs for people to get into the workforce. What a PLA does require is to take those people and put them into the workforce. And what it also requires is to use local people. We see a lot of times when I get on a daily basis probably 7 requests for foreign manpower. Why aren't we focused on providing these jobs for our citizens? And that's what a PLA requires. It's an agreement between the contractor, the owner, and the workforce. And that's kind of one of the statements I made was.
Thank you, Mr. Lord.
Okay.
Ms. Pawson.
Good morning, Chairman, members. Amanda Posson, Senior Policy Analyst at Every Texan, formerly the Center for Public Policy Priorities. I'm primarily here. There's quite a robust body of peer-reviewed research supporting project labor agreements and showing that such agreements really improve the timeliness of completion on public projects, giving an extra accountability mechanism to taxpayers and the local community. I'm happy to share with any of you that pretty exhaustive lit review supporting transparency and accountability to communities at the local level. Really the point of project labor agreements is to improve predictability, stability, safety, and productivity between local governments on public sector projects. And there's a growing body of research that supports that's happening. Additionally, there's a more recent body of research showing that it does not bar bidding from non-union contractors at all. And many times, the union contractors will come in at a lower rate, far beyond what the structural engineer on the project anticipated the cost of the projects being. This is another level of efficiency for local governments to exercise when they're using precious public sector dollars. I think this bill will have sweeping unintended consequences that will damage local communities and transparency over our taxpayer dollars. So we really need to look at this closely and see what we're doing. If something's not broken, don't try to fix it. This is working for local government, and it would be an overreach for the state to come in and bar local governments from having this type of accountability over their projects. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Mr. Aguilar?
Yes, sir. Good morning, Chairman and committee members. Appreciate the opportunity to be in front of you this morning. My name is Leonard Aguilar, and I'm the Secretary-Treasurer of the Texas AFL-CIO, and I have the great honor of representing roughly 240,000 members across the state of Texas, and we are in opposition of Senate Bill 925. We represent different workers in different industries, such as firefighters, teachers, letter carriers, construction workers, factory workers, just to name a few. And we advocate for them and also non-union workers at the same time. As you heard, Senate Bill 925 would prohibit local governments from rewarding companies who want to create local employment opportunities that pay decent wages and offer essential safety protections through project labor agreements. We have concerns about the bill. We have concerns that the bill will have unintended consequences, tying the hands of local governments and the opportunities to get those funds that are available. Why are we going to tie the hands of local governments and not allow them to secure funds if they're available to put local people to work? PLAs are typically done on very large projects. These are not an everyday, every week type of project. These are large, almost mega projects, if you've heard the term, where these come into effect, which require the detail and specifics of making sure they're done under budget and on time. And one of the things that I do want to talk about for sure is talking about the local hire piece. You're going to hear a bunch of information about it, but if we can make it a point to hire locally, that's going to benefit everybody in our communities. And that's one thing that we want to do. We can all agree we want to hire people in our communities to build our state. And that's something that we should work on. Local hiring, training, and safety is a big thing that we need to worry about, because going home safe at the end of the day is what we all want for everybody working across the state of Texas. I want to be clear about this. PLAs, project labor agreements, they have union and non-union. They do not exclude anybody. No matter what you're going to hear, they do not exclude anybody. So we're looking for a problem. There is nothing to solve. There's nothing there that we need to do.
Thank you. Members, Dean Zaffarini, you recognize?
Yes. Mr. Aguilar, you said that this bill could have unintended consequences. What are those unintended consequences that you're thinking of?
Well, just like what I started to mention is just the opportunity, if there are funds that are available that we could access for our local communities, this could possibly not allow that. So then we're not going to have an opportunity to train new workers. We're not going to have an opportunity to hire local workforce, and we're going to miss out on these opportunities to build our state. We talk about our state being a model. We should be a model of how we're going to incorporate every tool that we have, every tool in the toolbox. We hear it day in and day out. Let's utilize all the tools. This is just another tool that we can utilize to build our state.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Dean. Other questions? Thank you, panel. With that, we're going to close public testimony and leave the bill pending. Chair lays out Senate Bill 388 by